Okay, so we're actually going to play on the downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Say it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eve duet Hashem besimcha. G Eve duet Hashem besimcha. A minor lefanav birnana. G7 A minor. Okay. Do you hear how it feels you're playing behind the beat or after the beat or whatever language you want to go? Because we're playing the 2 and the 4 rather than the 1 and the 3. So now we're going to change it. You can keep playing, but I'm just going to count it differently. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eve duet Hashem besimcha. Eve duet Hashem besimcha. Bo lefanav birnana. Lefanav birnana. Oh, I really blew that E7 there, but okay, now we're going to switch back to the 2 and the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Eve duet Hashem besimcha. Eve duet Hashem besimcha. Bo lefanav birnana. Lefanav birnana. Okay. Now we're going to double the speed of our strumming. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, here we go. So now 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So the 1 and the 3 is when we're going down. The 2 and the 4 is when we're going up. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Eve duet Hashem besimcha. Eve duet Hashem besimcha. Bo lefanav birnana. Lefanav birnana. Up, down, up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to play the ups harder than the downs. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Eve duet Hashem besimcha. Eve duet Hashem besimcha. Bo lefanav birnana. Lefanav birnana. Okay. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2. Oh, let me give you my strum instead. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2. Here we go now. Eve duet Hashem besimcha. Eve duet Hashem besimcha. Bo lefanav birnana. Lefanav birnana. Okay, stay on that A minor. Speed it up a little. Here we go now. Eve duet Hashem besimcha. Eve duet Hashem besimcha. Bo lefanav birnana. Lefanav birnana. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E. Here we go. Yalalai, 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 yalalai. Even faster. Lai, yalalai, 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 yalalai. Okay, now try to do that rhythm that I'm doing. Yada da 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 da. Remember, the only difference is how hard I am playing. My finger is going the same speed. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a and then it's just how hard I'm playing. So yada da 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 die. Right, those hard downs. Die. Here we go now. Eve, duet Hashem b'simcha. Eve, duet Hashem b'simcha. Lefana binana, lefana binana. Eve, duet Hashem b'simcha. Eve, duet Hashem b'simcha. Lefana binana, lefana binana. Yalala, 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 Remember, if you're having trouble doing this, keep your wrist loose. When you're going faster, it's going to be more in the wrist and less in the finger. Here we go now. Eve, duet Hashem b'simcha. Eve, duet Hashem b'simcha. Oh, lefana binana, lefana binana. Eve, duet Hashem b'simcha. Eve, duet Hashem b'simcha. Oh, lefana binana, lefana binana. Yalala, 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 even faster. Yalala, 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 yalala. Okay, keep the same speed, but we're gonna cut our strums down. Here we go. Eve, duet Hashem b'simcha. Eve, duet Hashem b'simcha. Lefana binana, lefana binana. Eve, duet Hashem b'simcha. Eve, duet Hashem b'simcha. Lefana binana, lefana binana. The way, by the way, to get that sort of, I'm not even sure what you call it, that sort of never-ending sound thing, do the same back and forth that you're doing when you're going fast, but keep your fingers on the strings. Don't let your fingers ever go above or below the strings. And then you're keeping that same back and forth. Yeah, there you go, Kathleen. I can't hear you, but it looks like you're doing it right there at least. Okay, how did that feel? Thoughts on that? Just quick warm-up.
The only thing I can't do without practicing or figuring out how to do it is move quickly from the, I think is it G to the E7 or?
Yeah, G to the E7 to the A minor, exactly. Yeah, right, so we've got our G. So the trick, as always, with these things is to think about a finger that's going to root each of them. So you've got your G. You can probably go to your G without thinking at this point, right? So do this really slowly here. Your E7 is going to be rooted with that index finger. So start by moving that index finger to the spot and then let the other two fingers fall into place, right? So you got your G, move the index finger and the other two, drop it. G, index finger and drop it. G, index finger and drop it. And then eventually you can get it to where the three can come together, but they don't have to at first. G. But it's not easy. I'm flubbing it a third of the time too there, so, you know.
Yeah, but that helps. I can work on that.
Good. Okay. I thought maybe it's time to learn a new song. Anyone have a song request we can go look up?
Love Me Tender?
Love Me Tender. Yeah, we can certainly look that up. Benjamin, you look like you were going to say something too.
I was going to selfishly suggest the one that I've been trying to master in the next 4 days before my anniversary. But let's do Love Me Tender.
No, I feel like we should do for your anniversary. That feels like a really compelling reason to do a song. What's the song?
Yeah, no, let's do that.
You and I by Ingrid Michaelson.
Oh, they sing that at the summer camp we go to.
Possibly. It's a fun one. It's got the E7 in it, so we can practice that.
Okay. Though, don't you think Sarah would want all of us to serenade her with our ukulele?
I mean, possibly. Although, I mean, if we could organize that.
Possibly not, too. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Actually, I think this will be a good one to practice our strumming on too. Who knows this song? Does anyone know this song? Can I get rid of those chords? Oh, yes. Nice. Okay. So let's just go ahead and go over our chords for a second. Where's my fretted? Okay. So we've got a C here, it looks like. I think we're all familiar with C. We've got an F. We've got an A minor. We've got an F. We've got a C. And then instead of an E, we're going to play an E7 here. Both because I think there's a 7 there and because actually an E chord is ridiculously hard if I'm remembering this on a ukulele. How to play, where'd you go looking for a chord? E.
Yes, the E is stupid hard.
Yeah. So we're going to go with an E7. And we've got the F and the C. We've got a D chord. A D chord is a chord we don't play much in ukulele. Or we haven't played much. Okay, a D chord is 2nd fret, all of the strings except for the high A string, except for the bottom string closest to your toes. That's going to be open. Everything else is going to be fretted at the 2nd fret. So you can either stack your fingers on top of each other like this, or if it's easier, you can take one finger, whether it's your middle or your index, and sort of flatten it like that across all of them. I probably will do it with 3 fingers only because that's how I play the equivalent chord on a guitar, but it's there's a lot less room on a ukulele to drop those fingers in. Okay, I think we've got our G chord we know. Yep, everything else we know. Everything else we know. Okay, sorry, I'm cutting a fingernail real quickly so I can fret these chords better. Okay, here we go. We'll see if I can remember how this goes in terms of the melody with singing. Benjamin, you might have to help us out here. So I think it goes like this. We've got one strum on the C. Don't you worry there, my honey. We might not have any money, but we've got our love to pay the bills. Maybe I think you're cute and funny. Maybe I wanna do what bunnies do with you, if you know what I mean. I'm not sure I ever realized that that's what all of the like 7-year-olds at camp were singing, but you know, there you go. And somehow it is significantly more appropriate than all the 1970 songs that they sing. But you know, So let's get rich. And now we got that E7 by our parents. By the way, I think that really is an E7. There are not any homes in the south of France. Let's get rich and give everybody nice sweaters and teach them how to dance. Let's get rich and build our house on a mountain, making everybody look like... Now we've got that D. So from the F to the D, what I will probably do is I'll just, since I've already got my middle finger up there, I'm probably going to just collapse that finger down onto the next strings, right? So making everyone look like ants. You see how I did that with the collapsing? F, and then I'm collapsing that middle finger down onto all three strings. So go ahead and practice that for a second. From way up there, you and I, you and I. Okay. Pretty straightforward. Actually, let's go ahead and, since it is so straightforward with a couple exceptions, let's talk through the chords and the music theory that's happening here in the background too. Okay, so pretty clearly we are in the key of C. Does everyone see how it is that we figure that out? It's the first chord and it just feels like home. In fact, you start singing on a C note too. Don't you worry there. Okay, so C is the 1 chord, which makes the F what chord? Our 4 chord, yep. All right, remember C, D, E, F, G. As a general rule, whatever key you are in, here it's C. Oops, sorry, that's not what I meant to do. That's what I meant to do. You want to immediately know what the 1, 4, 5, and 6 are. So in the key of C, your head should immediately go C is the 1, F is the 4, G is the 5, A minor is the 6. 6 is always going to be a minor. So again, in the key of C, immediately our head should go C, F, G, A minor. Those are going to be the main palette of colors that we're going to paint with in almost any song, is the 1, 4, 5, minor 6. So in that case, we would expect to see C's, F's, G's, and A minors here. So that's very much what we see, right? C, F, A minor, F, C, F, A minor, F, C, E7. Okay, this is a chord that's not actually present in the C scale. The C scale wants there to be a C, and the next chord is D minor, and the next chord is E minor, and then F, and then G, and then A minor, and then it's going to be a B diminished chord, but we're not going to mess with that. So where this is coming from is, let's find piano keys. This will work. Okay, this right here is a piano, right? The black notes on a piano are your sharps and your flats. The white notes on a piano are your standard notes. So the way that it works is a chord is going to be the 1, the 3, and the 5. So imagine you're playing piano and you're putting your thumb on the C, that note farthest to the left in this image, and then your middle finger goes on the E and your pinky finger goes on the G. So you're skipping your second and your fourth fingers, you're skipping the D and the F. So you've got C, E, G. Keep that shape and go up 1 note. So you're starting on the D and you get a D minor. Go up 1 note on the E and you've got an E minor. Go up 1 note on the F and you've got an F major. On the G, you've got a G major. You go to the A, it's an A minor. So what's happening there is that these are the natural chords that are created within the C scale. We've written this out. I know we've got it somewhere written in here. Let's find you where we wrote it just so you can see it. Oh, I don't see it here. what ends up happening is that in almost any key, your 1 chord is a major, your 2 chord is a minor, your 3 chord is a minor, your 4 is a major, your 5 is a major, your 6 is a minor. So we would expect this E right here to be an E minor. And instead we are getting an E7, which is to say that we are adding in a note. It's the G sharp that is not normally in a C scale. So we're doing something that departs from what is expected by our ear, which is adding sort of an interesting feel to it. That's the whole idea, is that it gives it a little bit of a surprise feeling when you get to the chord. Even more so when you get to the D, though I guess actually in the same way. We would expect the D to be a D minor. Instead, it is a major. So we've got an F sharp instead of an F. Don't worry if I'm totally like leaving you behind with music theory here. It's not super important, but if you are following, it is helpful just in terms of how it builds on your knowledge and your skills here. Okay, any questions on that before we play this again? Did that make some amount of sense, maybe? A little bit? Okay. Benjamin's like, well, maybe. Okay, so let's do this again. We'll do the single strum again. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Don't you worry there, my honey. We might not have any money, but we've got our love to pay the bills. Okay, for the second one, since we're setting this up for Benjamin to be able to sing this, right? Let's really graph it out. So we did that once. Then the second verse, which is going to be much the same in terms of the chords, we're going to speed up our playing, or not speed it up, but add in more strumming. Maybe I think you're cute and funny. Maybe I wanna do what bunnies do with you, if you know what I mean. Okay. Oh, let's get rich and buy our parents' homes in the south of France. Let's get rich and give everybody nice sweaters and teach them how to dance. Let's get rich and build our house on a mountain. Make everybody look like, here comes that D, ants. You hear how it's not quite what you expect? Way up there, you and I. Okay, now we are going to complicate our strum. So notice that my wrist is going at the same speed, right? It's in a constant speed, and I'm just choosing to play some and not play some. And I'm doing a da 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 da. Here we go. You might be a bit confused and you might be a little bruised. Baby, we spoon like no one else. So I will help you read those books if you will soothe my worried looks, and we will put the lonesome on the shelf. So let's get rich and buy our parents' homes in the south of France. Let's get rich and give everybody nice sweaters, teach them how to dance. Let's get rich and build our house on a mountain, making everybody look like ants. And you can even pause there. I've never heard the original of this song. I've only heard it played by song leaders at our camp. But if it were me, I would probably pause on that D and let it ring out because it is so unexpected, right? So let's get rich and build our house on a mountain, making everybody look like ants. Way up there, you and I. And if that's too fast, by the way, you can skip that F on the bottom. You could just go way up there, you and I, and it sounds fine that way too. Okay. Okay, Benjamin, what can we do to better prepare you for, your anniversary sing-along here? Let's...
All right, well, I'll give you the location of our dinner, and you can all, hopefully I'll show up there.
Great. You buy us the plane tickets, we're there.
We'd all... I got an RDF, yes.
We all fly business class at least, and we'd like to be in the Ritz.
It's Reno, there is no Ritz.
Yeah, Kathleen actually requires first class, but the rest of us are fine with business. It's really...
We'll put you up in one of the casinos, it's good. I'm trying to think where I'm sort of... Yeah, I think it's a couple of those like the D and a couple of those spots where I'm tripping over I get into the rhythm for the rest of it, and then it takes me out of it.
So that D in particular, because it is so unexpected, like I said before, really just play that D and let it ring, and then as long as you count in a measure so that you're still in beat, right? So you want that beat to keep going. Let me explain. Let me do this so that it shows a little better, right? Let's get rich and build our house on a mountain, making everyone look like ants. 2, 3, way up there, you and I. Let's do that again. Here we go. So let's get rich and build our house on a mountain, making everybody look like ants. 2, 3, way up there. You hear that way up there comes in on the after the third beat on the previous measure, even though you don't go to the C until the 1 beat. Let's do that one more time. Let's get rich and build our house on a mountain, making everybody look like ants. Way up there, you and I. And you can even do that. I do this pretty frequently. You can tap out the beat during the silent parts right on the bottom bout of that ukulele, right? So let's get rich and build our house on a mountain, making everybody look like ants. Way up there, you and I. And I would totally skip that F there. I said I would do it if it was easy, but the truth of it is, if I ever play this song, I will skip that F also, because it's just unnecessary, is what I would say. Okay. What else is helpful here? Do you want to go over strumming in various parts? Do you want to...
I'm trying to see real quick. There was one other little spot that...
let's go over, as long as we were doing the music theory before, let's just pay attention to the various parts of this. When you are learning to memorize a song, or even just to play along with the song so that you can, play it with the lyrics but not the chords, it's really helpful to think of A parts, B parts, etc. So the A part here, the straightforward part, is just C, F, A minor, F. C, F, A minor, F. Right? That's really straightforward. Then we make it a little weird. C, E7, F, C. C, E7, F, G. C, E7, F, D, C, F, G, C. Right? So when we look at it this way, we can see that there's the standard progression, C, F, A minor, F. That is sort of the intro in the first 2 stanzas. And then we start playing around where we get a C, F, or C, E7, F, and then we end each, let me make my face go down here so you can see it. Then we end each of these lines with the chord changing, right? C, E7, F, C. The second time it's C, E7, F, G. And the third time it's the chord that we really don't expect because it's not in the key, C, E7, F, D. Right, so in my mind, what I'm thinking of this as, if I'm playing this, is first we go to C, then we go to G, then we go to D. Right, it's the same line, ends with C, same line ends with G, same line ends with D. And then we're going to go back to the beginning of our pattern. C, F, A minor, F, C, F, A minor, F, and then we can expect the same thing to come next, right? C, E7, F, C, C, E7, F, G, C, E7, F, D. And then it ends with C, F, G, C, which is just 1, 4, 5, 1. Okay, did that make sense what I just said? Is that helpful at all in your own internal thinking of this? Patty, this song is called You and I by Ingrid Michaelson, which I know because it's at the top of the sheet right here. I'm just going to drop in the chords here for anyone who wants it. Okay, so those are the sorts of mental hangers to put your hat on or your coat on that you know you figure out that here's the straightforward, here's the variation, here's how the variation changes. And then you don't need to remember everything, you just need to sort of remember these big chunks instead. I don't know if that's helpful for you all also, but that's certainly how I memorize songs. Okay, anything else that can be helpful here?
No, that's all great. I think that will really help kind of smooth out some of the rough spots that I've been hitting.
Okay, I want us to try playing it without the chords here. Let's see if what we just talked about can be helpful at all. I'm going to put my fret hand down here, though, so that you can at least see what I'm going to do. So, right, remember that we've got, this is going to be the chorus, and the chorus is where we get the changing final chord, right? C, E7, F, and then C, E7, F, and G, and then C, E7, F, D. And then C, G, C to end it. 1, 5, 1. 3 blind mice. 1, 5, 1. Okay, so let's try this. Here we go. 2, 3. Let's get rich and buy our parents' homes in the south of France. Let's get rich and give everybody nice sweaters and teach them how to dance. Let's get rich and build our house on a mountain. Everybody look like ants. Way up there, you and I, you and I. Okay, let's do it again. Remember, we're good. C, E7, F. And then the change is C, G, D. Here we go. Let's get rich and buy our parents' homes in the south of France. Let's get rich and give everybody nice sweaters. Teach them how to dance. Let's get rich and build our house on a mountain, making everybody look like ants. Way up there, you and I, you and I. Okay. Were we able to do that okay? Sort of? Not a lot of confidence. I'm not detecting great, overwhelming confidence here.
Actually, I love it, and I didn't know the song at all, so I love it.
There you go. There you go. Well, you know, Larry, you can do some serenading with this song too. It'll be a... Okay. Let's do another song. What was, Patty, what did you want? There was...
Just Love Me Tender.
We'll see if I can sing Love Me Tender. I'm not sure I know the song well enough. We'll see. Okay, so again, the way that we find any song, let me just increase it so you can see it a little better, is all we do is we type in the name of the song and ukulele chords. So we will scroll down. Okay, we might have some odd chords here, but we'll try this out. Okay, so we've got our D to start with. Remember, that's that chord we had just a second ago. is it love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go? Is that how this song goes? I might be writing my own version of this song as we go. We'll see. Okay, so but anyways, this is helpful for us because it's got these chords that are a little different than we're used to. So we've got that D, love me tender, E7, love me sweet. Now we've got A7, which is an easy chord. What you're going to do is you're going to take your E7 and move that index finger down a string and lift everything else up. Never let me go. You have made my life complete. And I love you so. Love me. A G flat 7. I have no idea what a G flat 7 is. Let's see. E, F, G flat is going to be an F sharp. That's a weird chord. That's a difficult chord.
I just have C, D minor, G, C.
Yeah, that's a really difficult chord, this G flat 7th right here.
I just have the 4 chords D, C, D minor, G, and C.
Love me tender. So changes in the second stanza is what's happening. I think this song may be beyond us, Patty, other than the initial.
Is it possible to transpose it to something human?
Yeah, let's see what happens when we put it into the key of C. Okay, so again, going through some of the music theory of it all here. So we're in the key of D, right? We can see that because our first chord is D. So if we want to move it to the key of C, we're going to transpose it down 2 half steps, right? The first half step would be D to D flat or C sharp. It's the same thing. And the next one would be C. So we're going to go up and let's transpose -2. Let's see what that does for us. Okay, a D7 is much easier to play than a D. Our D7 chord, we played the D7 way more than we played the D because we played in the blues, right? We've talked about D7. You can play with your index and your second finger. They're both on the second fret. Where you're skipping a string in between, the C string you're skipping, but you're on the G string and the E string. You can also play with your second and your third finger. Most of the time I play this with my second and the third finger, but if I'm coming from a C, where my third finger is in use, I'm probably going to play that D7 with my index and second finger. Right? Because it's just an easier movement so that you don't have to move that ring finger when you do it. So, love me tender, love me sweet, G7 we know. Never let me go. You have made my life complete. Remember the G7 looks like this. And I love you so. Oh yeah, now we get a E7 instead of a G flat 7. That's a much better chord. Love me tender, love me true, all my, and an F minor. Okay, an F minor is you're going to take the third, which in this case is your middle finger, the G string, and you're going to bring it down 1 fret. So you can either do entirely new shape, or you're doing like the D7, but on the first fret instead of the second fret. This is a D7, this is an F minor. So love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfilled. I have no idea how we sing this part. For my darling. Now we're back to that main melody. A7. For my darling, I love... D7, I love you, and I always will. Love me tender, love me long, take me to your heart, for it's there that I belong, and will never part. Love me tender, love me dear, tell me you are mine. I'll be yours through all the years, till the end of time. My apologies to Elvis Presley. So that's a much more complicated song. And the origins of that is that a lot of really early rock and roll, particularly you can hear that Love Me Tender is sort of an early kind of sound, is coming out of big band, and it's morphing from big band to rock and roll. And so you have the sorts of chords and chord progressions that are much more related to jazz than they are to typical country blues folk. And so that's why we end up with these really sort of complicated progressions where we're dealing with, G flat minors and things like that. Okay. I think that's it for today. No class next week for Thanksgiving, and no class the week after because I will be in Israel. But the week after I will be here and will be on and will probably be very jet lagged. Okay. Good to be with everyone.